Hey there, my friend. Let me share some deep insights from my own life as a wise Jewish fellow who's seen it all. The highs and lows, the times of plenty, and the empty pockets. Friends who swore loyalty, and those who vanished when things got tough. Growing up in a family where listening was valued more than speaking, and every word carried real weight, I've learned lessons that aren't just pretty phrases to toss around. If you're tuning into this, know that I'm not here to entertain you with fluff. I'm passing on wisdom that many folks pay for with years of heartache, mistakes, and losses. Stuff rooted in that timeless Jewish wisdom about protecting your spirit and plans. There are certain things you should never spill to anyone. Not your buddies, not your co-workers, not even the closest family. And it's not about being dishonest or cold-hearted. It's about true wisdom, understanding how people tick, and keeping your life, your dreams, and your inner peace intact. Jewish wisdom has always taught us not to blurt out everything we know. It's about knowing what to say and to whom. As it's said in the Talmud, not every truth needs to be spoken, but every lie will be punished. That's the fine line most folks miss, and it leads to a lot of unnecessary suffering. You can be an honest person and still choose silence. It's your choice to hold back sometimes. Words aren't just noise, buddy. They're energy flowing out from you into the world, and the world doesn't always send it back kindly. Over my years, I've watched people wreck their own plans just by chatting about them to the wrong ears. I've seen solid families crack under too much openness. Dreams fizzle out before they even started because they were dissected over tea and helpful advice. Most think, but these are my loved ones. They want the best for me. Let me tell you straight, even love doesn't shield against envy, fear, or doubt. Sometimes, family worries so much for you that they become roadblocks. Friends might see your progress as a mirror to their own shortcomings, or someone just can't keep a secret, even with the best intentions. Remember this: silence isn't weakness, it's your strongest shield. The higher you climb in life, the sturdier that shield needs to be. In this chat, I'll walk you through 9 things you should never share with anyone, no matter what, even if it feels safe, even if they're staring you in the eyes promising, "I won't tell a soul," especially then. Some seem harmless, some obvious, and maybe you've already shared a few and paid the price without realizing where the trouble started. But the real danger isn't the slip-ups, it's repeating them, thinking next time will be different. I'm not talking theory here. I'm drawing from my own experiences, where I've seen the fallout from loose lips too many times. If you stick with me to the end, you'll get why sometimes the Almighty seals our mouths to save our paths. Ahead, I'll dive into the first of these 9, and it might just shift how you view chats, trust, and setting boundaries. Don't wander off. What comes next is stuff rarely said out loud, but it's what separates the wise from the naive. Listen close, because from here, no fancy stories just for show. It's raw life truth, sometimes uncomfortable, sometimes blunt, but always helpful. I've gathered this over years of talks, losses, and watching people. If you really want a calmer, stronger life, grasp this. The first thing to never share: your big plans. When you're starting out, you're full of fire. You want to shout it, seek cheers, hear, "You're amazing, it'll work." But life's not like that. The more you yap about plans, the less steam you have to make them happen. It's not magic, it's psychology and generations of experience. I've seen young folks with nothing done yet, broadcasting who they'll become, and each chat sapped their drive. People debated, doubted, advised, scared them off. Soon they weren't chasing dreams, they were excusing failures. In Jewish tradition, we say, until it's done, it doesn't exist. Work quietly, let results speak. Second, your weaknesses and fears. Many think openness builds bonds. Sometimes yes, but often your fears become ammo. Not always malice, sometimes folks use it to feel superior. I've witnessed old confidences weaponized in arguments years later, or in business, pressed on vulnerabilities shared casually. The world respects strength, but exploits weakness. Doesn't mean be stone cold. Just handle fears with helpers, not casual listeners. Third, your earnings and financial schemes. Money's touchy, even in families. Naming numbers shifts dynamics. Envy sparks, expectations rise, judgments fly. In my life, one slip and suddenly requests, grudges, assumptions poured in. Even genuine help turns obligatory. Remember, your finances are your duty to the divine, not dinner talk. Fourth, your good deeds. Tough to grasp. You want to share the joy. But Jewish wisdom says, true kindness loves quiet. Brag, and you've claimed your reward in praise, missing deeper blessings. I've seen boastful givers empty inside while silent helpers drew abundance. Fifth, family or relationship troubles. Airing dirty laundry rarely helps, more like picking sides, lingering opinions. You reconcile, but others' resentment lingers. Especially risky venting to unhappy folks. Their advice seldom fosters peace. Sixth, spiritual journeys and doubts. Faith's personal path. Sharing widely risks mockery, pressure, impositions. Keep it quiet, deep. Discuss with mentors or self. Seventh, past mistakes. Not everyone sees growth. Some see labels. If you hang it on yourself, don't be shocked if stuck. Eighth, next moves. Even small plans. Fewer words, more do. Ninth, inner doubts before deciding. Doubts aid thinking, but sharing erodes confidence. All tie together. Extra words weaken. Wisdom's timely silence. Next, I'll detail applying this in real life. Family, work, friends. Not theory, practice. Knowledge without use is noise. Now the key part, buddy. Knowing's not enough. I've seen sharp minds grasp it all, nod wisely, but keep blabbing, habits trumping sense. So, let's break down real-life application, step by step, no fluff. Start with the toughest. Family. It's where we unwind, drop guards, crave understanding. But that's why awareness is vital. Planning a job switch, business start, move. Don't table it for family debate till first step's done. Why? Loved ones prioritize your safety over dreams. They'll highlight risks, urge status quo, say, you're fine as is, till you doubt yourself. Do it right. Prep, act, then announce fact. I did it. Saves energy, earns respect. Now work in business. Colleagues smile, share coffee, chat life. But spill growth plans, exits, shifts. You're a threat, not malice, human comparison. So, hold future projects, ideas till ready, less stolen. Keep incomes, savings, mom. Share only done deals unusable against you. Friends. True ones rare. Rest good acquaintances. Mistake. Treating all like kin. Test with time, situations, not chats. Post openness, regret or unease. Intuition signal. Jewish wisdom. Trust builds slow, revokes fast. Fears, weaknesses. When heavy, don't rush to any listener. Ask, do they solve or just discuss? Ladder digs deeper holes. Better one talk with mentor, therapist, pathwalker, than 10 soul-bearing sessions yielding zilch. Finances in reality. Improving? Hush. Worsening? Hush more. Money loves quiet. Not superstition, practice. Unknown sums mean judgment by actions, not figures. Aid family your choice, not pact. Good deeds. Test. Do kindness. Tell no one, even mentally. Hard, but builds inner strength, self-respect. Freeze from praise dependency. Past errors. Don't hide fully, but avoid confessional broadcasts. Share if helps others, not soul unburdening. Doubts, decisions. Before choices, self-reflect. Maybe one wise ear, then decide. More advisors, less surety. Crucial. Watch silence as outcomes. Problems fade, meddlers dwindle, energy surges. Silence isn't void. It's fertile space for strength. In wrap-up, I'll sum and share how words serve, not harm. Stay. This is warmest, honestest talk. If you've made it here, you're not just hearing, you're pondering. Speaks volumes about you. Most bail midway. Truth demands inner quiet, and quiet scares. But you stayed. Shows readiness to mature not by years, but insight. Pause now. Ask. How many life messes started with words? Not deeds, decisions, but words to wrong folks, at wrong times, seeking understanding, support, approval. Over years, conclusion. Self-destruction via excess candor, not foes. Enemies rare. Listeners who nod, sympathize, then spread or wield info, commonplace. Often unwitting. Jewish wisdom teaches discernment, not isolation. Discern who, what, when, how much. Worlds nuanced. Relations balanced dance. Now you know. Proximity doesn't equal safety for plans. Sympathy doesn't guarantee growth wish. Advice isn't always aid. Truth needn't always voice. This knowledge doesn't chill. It matures. Maturity. No urge for universal understanding. No explaining every move. No justifying choices. Letting opinions fly because you know you. Talkative folks live outwardly. Silent ones inwardly. Inner's power source. Less sharing, less interference. Advice rarer, better. Envy fades. Pressure vanishes. Decisions firmer. Not world-changing. You stop handing control via words. One personal nudge. Before spilling, ask 3. Why say this? What gain in silence? Could it backfire? 7 in 10. Quiet wins. Not just beneficial, peaceful. Life's complex. Don't complicate with tongue. Wise don't lose friends via silence. They shed extras. True stay, knowing not all. If one idea stuck, video worthwhile. But for life quality shift, apply. Don't just recall. Let plans ripen quietly. Fears resolve in action. Good deeds known to you divine. Words rare, thus precious. If this style resonates, calm, profound, no frenzy, subscribe. Not about outshining others, about becoming stronger, quieter, resilient you. Ahead, why over-openness wrecks fates, care versus control, distancing to preserve bonds, living regret-free on words. Stay. Wisdom whispers. Now let's keep building on this, my friend, because applying these principles isn't a one-size-fits-all deal. It's about weaving them into the fabric of your daily interactions in a way that feels natural and protective. Remember, as a Jewish guy who's navigated life's twists with the guidance of our ancient wisdom, I've learned that silence isn't about shutting people out. It's about safeguarding the sacred parts of yourself so you can thrive without unnecessary interference. Let's talk about handling your spiritual experiences and doubts in real life. Faith is such a personal journey, full of ups and downs, and sharing those intimate moments, like a profound insight during prayer, or a nagging question about life's purpose, can feel tempting when you're seeking connection. But from my own path, I've seen how opening up too widely invites all sorts of unhelpful input. Some folks mock what they don't understand. Others push their own beliefs on you, and a few might even use it to judge your character later on. Instead, keep those reflections close. Discuss them only with a trusted rabbi, mentor, or even just in quiet reflection with yourself. I recall a time when I was grappling with a deep doubt after a personal loss. I confided in a casual acquaintance, and their offhand dismissal lingered with me for months, muddying my clarity. But when I turned inward and sought counsel from someone wise in our Jewish traditions, it brought peace without the noise. This approach, straight from teachings that value introspection, helps preserve the purity of your spiritual growth. Moving on to past mistakes. Oh, buddy, this one's a trap I've fallen into myself more than once. We all have regrets, those slip-ups that taught us hard lessons, but broadcasting them like a confessional doesn't always lead to forgiveness or understanding. Often, it just sticks you with a label that people won't let go of. In practice, if you're chatting with friends or colleagues, resist the urge to spill every detail of a past failure, even if it feels cathartic. Share only if it genuinely helps someone else avoid the same pitfall, and even then, frame it as a growth story without the raw vulnerability. Jewish wisdom reminds us that teshuvah, repentance and return, is an internal process first. Publicizing errors can invite judgment rather than support. I've watched associates in business circles get pigeonholed after admitting old blunders during networking events. What started as honest sharing turned into whispered doubts about their reliability. In my life, I learned to process those quietly, perhaps journaling or discussing anonymously in a study group, which kept my reputation intact while allowing real healing. And let's not forget about your next steps or inner doubts before big decisions. These are like fragile seeds that need space to sprout without being trampled. In everyday scenarios, say you're mulling over a career pivot or a major life change. Don't air those hesitations in group chats or over coffee, as input from others can dilute your intuition and turn resolve into paralysis. From my experiences, I've held back on sharing tentative plans, like when I was considering a new venture amid financial uncertainty. Talking it out too soon brought a barrage of what-ifs that nearly derailed me. Instead, Jewish teachings encourage solitary contemplation or advice from one trusted elder, much like seeking counsel from a rebbe. This keeps your momentum strong. Ask yourself, have you ever shared a budding idea only to have it picked apart? That's the risk. By practicing selective silence here, you build confidence in your own judgment, turning doubts into decisive action without external erosion. Wrapping this up, pal, let's tie it all together with some heartfelt reflections from my journey, infused with that enduring Jewish wisdom that has guided me through calm seas and storms alike. At the core, these 9 things to keep private aren't about building walls. They're about creating a sanctuary for your growth, where your energy stays focused inward, rather than scattered by others' reactions. I've lived long enough to see how excess words can unravel even the sturdiest plans. But silence? It acts as a quiet guardian, preserving your peace and power. Think back to how we've explored keeping big plans under wraps until they're solid, shielding weaknesses from misuse, and letting good deeds speak through actions alone. In my own stories, like holding back on family troubles during tough times to avoid lasting rifts, or quietly navigating spiritual doubts without inviting unsolicited debates, I've found that this approach not only prevents pain, but invites deeper blessings, as our traditions teach that the divine rewards discretion. Now here's where it gets personal. Pause and reflect with me. How many of your own challenges stemmed from words shared too freely? Not from bad intentions, but from that human tendency to seek validation, only to face unintended consequences. Jewish wisdom doesn't advocate isolation. It champions discernment. Knowing the world's shades of gray mean not every ear is ready for every truth. This maturity shifts you from living for others' approval to standing firm in your truth, where you no longer explain every move or justify your path. You'll notice life quiets down, fewer meddlers, less envy, stronger decisions. Not because people change, but because you've stopped handing what doesn't need handing. From my experiences, embracing this has brought a profound calm, like the peace after a heartfelt prayer, where inner strength blooms in the quiet spaces. One last bit of advice, straight from the heart. Before speaking, run through those 3 questions. Why say this? What do I gain by holding back? Could it backfire? More often than not, silence emerges as the wiser choice, leading to a life that's not just survivable, but truly fulfilling. Wise souls don't lose true connections through quiet. They filter out the noise, letting genuine bonds endure. If even one insight here sticks and sparks a change, our chat was worth it. But to really transform, apply it. Let plans ripen unseen, fears resolve in solitude, words become treasures through rarity. If this resonates and you're craving more of these calm, profound talks, hit that subscribe button now to join the journey. We'll dive into why oversharing can derail destinies, spotting real care versus control, the art of healthy distance in relationships, and living without word regrets. Give this video a like if it sparked something in you. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway or a time silence saved you, and share it with friends who might need this wisdom too. Spreading these lessons could change someone's path. Stay tuned. True wisdom whispers, and together we'll listen. What's one thing you'll keep quieter starting today?